On July 8, 1941, a German U-boat in the North Atlantic transmitted an encrypted message, a routine signal the Germans believed was unreadable due to the Enigma's mathematically complex cipher. This machine, a marvel of engineering, could generate hundreds of trillions of possible combinations. However, at that exact time, British analysts at Bletchley Park were reading the same message in plain German. By the summer of 1941, Britain's cryptographers were reading the Kriegsmarine's, German Navy's traffic, almost as quickly as its commander, Admiral Karl Dönitz, yet the Germans never discovered this fact, even after their 1945 surrender. This colossal mistake stemmed from their absolute faith in the machine's mathematical security, which blinded them to the possibility of human ingenuity triumphing over design. The story begins in 1932 in Poland, where the German military first adapted the commercial Enigma for military use. Despite its theoretical impregnability, 3 young Polish mathematicians at the Cipher Bureau, Marian Rejewski, Jerzy Rojicki, and Henryk Zygalski, refused to accept that any cipher was unbreakable. Using intercepted messages, theoretical mathematics, and a crucial piece of stolen information from French intelligence, Rejewski reverse-engineered the Enigma's internal wiring. By 1933, he could read German army messages using a machine he designed called the Bombe Kryptologiczna, the bomb. For 7 years, Poland read German military traffic in secret. In July 1939, as war loomed, the Poles shared their entire discovery, including their reconstructed Enigma codebooks and techniques, with their British and French allies near Warsaw, an act that directly enabled the later success of Bletchley Park. After the German invasion of Poland in September 1939, the discovery traveled west to the quiet English estate of Bletchley Park, where the British government established the nerve center of its code-breaking effort. Among the new recruits was a young Cambridge mathematician, Alan Turing. Turing refined Rejewski's bomb concept, redesigning it into a faster, more automated electromechanical machine, also called the bomb, that could test thousands of possible Enigma settings every minute. By late 1940, these machines, often operated by women of the Women's Royal Naval Service, WRENs, were breaking Luftwaffe and Army messages daily. However, the German Navy's Enigma, with an extra rotor and stricter key procedures, remained a major challenge. The U-boats were devastating British supply lines, pushing the nation toward starvation. Fortune struck in May 1941 when the German submarine U-110 was captured by the Royal Navy. Its crew abandoned ship, believing it would sink, but British sailors boarded and recovered the Enigma machine and vital codebooks intact. This material provided the final key for Bletchley to break the naval Enigma, known as Triton or Shark. From that moment, the tide of the Battle of the Atlantic began to shift. Intelligence derived from the Enigma decrypts was codenamed Ultra and became the most closely guarded secret of the war, known only to a handful of high-level officials, including Winston Churchill, who later stated, "It was thanks to Ultra that we won." Every decoded message, detailing convoy orders, U-boat rendezvous, and minefield positions, guided Allied strategy. Yet, as German losses mounted, Dönitz and his command remained convinced the Enigma was mathematically unassailable. Dönitz blamed losses on Allied radar, superior aircraft, and luck, never cryptography. Internal German reviews, such as one conducted by Captain Ludwig Stummel in 1941 after the U-110 capture, dismissed the idea of compromise because the number of possible keys defies imagination. Even a direct report from neutral Swiss intelligence in 1943, warning that Allied convoy ambushes were occurring with uncanny precision, was dismissed by Dönitz as nonsense. The war of logic continued relentlessly at Bletchley Park. By D-Day in 1944, the British were reading approximately 5,000 German messages every day. Ultra-decrypts were essential for the success of the Normandy invasion. To protect the secret, the Allies maintained absolute silence. Intelligence reports were heavily sanitized, or cooked, to appear as though they came from reconnaissance, spies, or captured documents. The secrecy was so convincing that even after the German surrender in 1945, captured officers nearly universally asserted their codes had not been read. The brutal logic of maintaining Ultra's secrecy also meant the Allies occasionally had to allow attacks to proceed without intervention to prevent the Germans from suspecting a compromise, a moral restraint that weighed heavily on those who knew. The truth of Ultra remained hidden for nearly 30 years after the war due to the Official Secrets Act. The 9,000 workers at Bletchley Park, 80% of whom were women, returned to ordinary lives, their critical achievements unrecognized. In 1974, the secret was first publicly revealed by British officer F.W. Winterbotham's book, The Ultra Secret. The news stunned the world, but none more so than the Germans. Admiral Dönitz, living in retirement, reportedly refused to believe it at first. Upon being shown documentation, he was silent before saying, "Then everything we did was for nothing." Historians later assessed that Ultra shortened the war by an estimated 2 to 4 years. The true failure for Germany was not the machine, but the failure of imagination and institutional skepticism. Their analysts operated within a rigid hierarchy that discouraged challenging the core assumption of Enigma's mathematical security. Conversely, the British, who possessed fewer resources, fostered a culture of intellectual freedom at Bletchley, recruiting unconventional thinkers, mathematicians, linguists, chess players, and crossword solvers, who were united by curiosity and doubted the idea of a perfect system. The Enigma affair is a profound lesson in the psychology of certainty. The Germans worshipped precision, the Allies exploited imperfection. By 1945, 783 U-boats and 30,000 submariners were lost, 3/4 of the entire U-boat force, all guided by ultra-intelligence that Dönitz continually attributed to material odds. The success of Ultra demonstrated that intelligence could shape entire wars. Its legacy is found in every modern computer. Alan Turing's work laid the foundation for computer science, in modern encryption, and in the enduring lessons for intelligence agencies. Technical perfection does not guarantee security. Secrecy carries a heavy moral weight, and intelligence, though invisible, alters history. The Germans' unwavering confidence was ultimately their deadliest weakness, proving that the greatest battles of the Second World War were fought not only on land, sea, and air, but in the realm of thought.